All right, let's get into it. So today I'm going to show you how to add an extra 2K per month to your income in the next 7 days. I'm going to do it by offering a very specific marketing service to existing businesses. Now, if you're watching this video and you're on this channel, I imagine you're in the agency, online coaching, info product, marketing space. If you're not, and you don't know what any of those words mean, then I don't think I can help you. But if you do know what they mean and you are interested in earning extra income, then this is going to be a very easy way to do it, because the specific service that I'm going to show you today, I'm going to show you not only what the service is, how to deliver it, how to pitch it, but also how to find the clients that desperately need it as well. But the service that I'm going to talk about today is actually a win-win on both sides, because number one, it's in high demand from the end client. But number two, it's very easy and quick for you to fulfill. But it still makes the end client a lot of money. So it's a win-win on both sides. So what is that marketing service? Well, if you're in the info product space, people selling online courses, you will know that one of the most popular ways to sell online courses is through webinars. So what a lot of these guys on Instagram who are selling like make money online courses, which I'm sure you're familiar with, they will have like an Instagram audience and they'll host a webinar. So a webinar is basically just a 90-minute sales presentation. And basically it gives a bit of value, and at the end they pitch their product and service. Now the product and service is usually, and I'm generalizing here, obviously there's exceptions, but it's usually around 1,000 to, let's just say, like 3,000. Again, it can be more, but it doesn't really matter for this example of what I'm trying to teach. So this is typically what they'll do. They'll promote the webinar on their Instagram. People will register for the webinar. And then at the end, they will sell a 1 to 3K product. Now, that's great, right? If they've got that system set up and it's working for them, fantastic. So we're going to basically create or help them make more money from this process. So let's just give an example. Let's just say there are 1,000 people who register for the webinar. Now, realistically, out of that 1,000 people, I'm going to say that, let's just say 300 people watch the webinar. It could be more, could be less, but let's just say 300 people watch it. Now, out of that 300 people, I'm going to say there's only going to be around like 15 people who are going to buy this product and service. So, okay, that's good. The person who's promoting the webinar, they've just made, 15 to 45K, and they'll probably run a webinar every single week. So they're probably doing around 6 figures a month, which is great, right? But here's the thing. Only 15 people bought, which means there is, I'm going to try and do the math, 985 people that didn't buy. And these are basically wasted leads. These are people that could potentially give them money, but they didn't buy. Now, what most people do is that they will just basically send them back to watch the webinar again, which is fine. That will make them more money. And some of that 985 people are going to end up buying that 1K to 3K program. But there's still going to be 900 plus leads that they don't convert. And for them, that's a lot of money lost on the table. Because however good your marketing is, there's only going to be a very small percentage of people that are going to buy a 1 to 3K program. There's just going to be a big percentage of this 985 that are just never going to pay that much money. So what you want to do is set up a system that is going to help convert these leads that are wasted into lower ticket customers that makes basically the client extra money without any work. So here's what you're going to do. And again, I'm going to show you exactly how to pitch this in a second and exactly how to find the people you're going to pitch. But effectively, what you are going to do as your service is you're going to create a sales page. And the sales page is going to be for a light version of the course that they sell at the end of the webinar. So it could be just like the basic modules, the first couple of modules, maybe just like 1 to 2 videos from each of the modules, or you could get the client to like film like a a more basic version of the course. But again, that's going to take more time from the client. So ideally, it'll just be the basic modules from the course. There's multiple ways to create like a light version of a online course or a program. And what you're going to do, this course is going to be cheaper than obviously 1 to 3K. It can be much cheaper. It could be anywhere from like $50 up to a couple of $100, right? So we'll just put that in here. 50 to, we'll do like 197. And again, you can test different pricing, but it's not really necessary for this point. So you're going to create them a sales page. So you're going to build the sales page and you're going to write the copy for the sales page. And then what you're going to do is you are going to create an email sequence. So you're going to write multiple emails that sell this light version. And what you're going to do, and again, I'll get into the pitch in a second, but effectively you're creating a system that if these 985 people go through this process up here, but they don't end up buying, then you send them to this process down here. And they go through the email sequence and then they get pitched the $50 to $197 product. Right? So what you're doing here is you're monetizing the leads that this person already has and just making them more money, and you're just doing all of the work. For this to be set up and executed on, and for this to be making some more money, the actual person who runs the company doesn't have to do anything, because you can literally do all of this yourself, which is why it becomes a complete no-brainer for the end client. So what I'm going to do right now is show you how to find these people and then how to actually pitch it to them, okay? So we're going to just use the Instagram channel to begin with. And I'm just going to give you an example here of this guy. He's called Blake. I don't know Blake personally, but seems like a cool guy. So anyway, I know, for example, that Blake runs a webinar, and there's lots of these coaches out here who are teaching stuff like Airbnb, real estate, Shopify, Amazon FBA. If you come to their profiles, a lot of the time they'll have a link that looks like this, which is typically a webinar registration link. And if I click this, it's going to take me to this page where it's asking me to sign up. So this is basically the start of this process where he's getting me to register for his webinar. And what we're basically going to do is we're going to find different people like Blake, and we're going to register for the webinar. So you're going to pop your name and email address in here, and you're going to go through the sequence. You don't necessarily have to watch the webinar, although it would be good if you could. But basically, you're going to watch the emails that he sends you. Because what most people do is that when you register for a webinar, they'll send you emails that are basically saying, hey, come and attend the webinar, come and attend the webinar, come and attend the webinar. And then they'll send you other emails after the webinar's finished saying, hey, come and buy my product, come and buy my product. And that's it. So what you want to do is find the people that have this sequence set up in place, but they don't have a downsell sequence, which is effectively what you're going to be creating for these people. Obviously, if they've already got a downsell sequence in place, then this service becomes obsolete because they've already got it set up. So we're looking for people that are promoting webinars on their Instagram, but they don't have a downsell offer or sequence in place for the people that don't buy the main product after the webinar finishes, which again is typically a 1 to 3K product. So this is what we're looking for. So you could, for example, find Blake, and then you could register for his webinar and you could see if he has a downsell sequence. But you want to find someone like Blake, and then what you want to do is on Instagram, you want to use this feature here that basically says, show me accounts similar to this one. So what this is going to do is show different accounts on Instagram that have like a similar size following and are basically in a similar niche / they're creating similar content. So what I've done here is just opened up like a bunch of these people just to show you like how quick and easy it is to find people running webinars. Again, not all of these people are going to be having a webinar running, right? So you're just going to exit off their Instagram as soon as you realize, but we're going to try and find one, right? So going to look at this guy here. Looks like he's just linking his YouTube channel, so doesn't look like that. This guy is linking his Twitter, so we can just like get rid of him. We can get rid of him. This guy, this looks like a sales page link. So yeah, apply for one-on-one coaching. So he's not running a webinar, so we'll get rid of those pages. This guy's just got like a DM me for coaching, so it doesn't look like he's got a webinar. This guy's doing a trading and he's promoting a free course, so it doesn't look like he's running a webinar. Ryan Pineda, I know that guy, he doesn't run a webinar. Let's have a look at this guy. He looks like he's got a live event, but it's not a webinar. Nope, doesn't look like he's running one either, so you will have to go through a few different people. Let's see what she's got. Learn how to buy a small business. Okay, there we go. So a webinar is going to be kind of framed as a free training, a webinar, or a masterclass. Now, if you look at this, a live masterclass happening on June 18th. So if you were to do this, you would have to wait until June 18th to see if she has a downsell sequence in place. So you couldn't necessarily sign her as a client, although it is within 7 days, I suppose, so you technically might be able to. But anyway, what you would do is come here and you would register and you would go through the sequence and you would see if she has a downsell sequence in place. And if she doesn't, then you're going to pitch her on you setting that up for her. So we found one potential client here. This guy looks like he's just running to a website, so I don't think this is going to be a webinar. This guy's got a link tree. There you go. This is perfect. Join Carlton's live weekly webinar on advanced tax strategies. So this guy is literally doing the exact scenario that I talked about earlier, where a lot of these people on Instagram are running a weekly webinar. So this is where, obviously, if you set this up for them and you get them as a client, this could be like monthly recurring revenue for you. So look, this is what the page is going to look very similar like. And you're going to register for this webinar. It begins in 9 minutes. What are the chances, hey? Is obviously like an automated webinar, which is good. So I would register my details here and I would go through his sequence. I would open all of his emails and I will make sure to see if he isn't having a downsell sequence. And if he doesn't, then he is someone I can pitch. So I would like keep his name in a spreadsheet. So that's one way of doing it, is using that feature on Instagram to find people similar to the accounts that you know are running webinars. Now, the second way to do it is you can go to Facebook Ads Library or Meta Ads Library. If you just Google Facebook Ads Library, Meta Ads Library, you can basically use this tool, it's free, to find all the people that are running ads on Facebook. So you're going to come here, just click United States for ease. Then you're going to go to all ads. And you can see here, I'm just going to click in webinar, right? You're going to type in webinar and search for webinar. And what's going to happen is Facebook's going to provide all results of people that are running webinars. And again, people call them webinars, people call them masterclasses, live trainings, live workshops. There's lots of different names. So you can search for those different keywords to get different results. But even if you just type in webinar, it's going to show you a bunch of people that are, you guessed it, actively running webinars. So just to double check, you can click the link in these ads. So this guy called Passion Dan, and then this woman called Kimberly. We're going to go here and you can see, boom, claim your seat. And this guy is running a automated webinar and it's going to give them the opportunity to, register. Same with this person running it on Thursday, June 13th, which is the day after I'm filming this video. So I'd be able to go through the sequence tomorrow to see if they have like a downsell sequence. And it's as easy as that. There's literally going to be hundreds of people on this page that are actively running ads, trying to drive people to their webinars. So there's literally endless leads. And again, you can search for webinars, masterclasses, all that sort of good stuff. So that's what we're basically going to do on day one. So we're going to do this. We're going to add 2K per month in 7 days. You're going to basically prospect. Or not even prospect, you're going to find all your prospects. So you're going to do what I just did, and you're going to do it on day one, and you're going to find hundreds of these people. You don't need to work with hundreds of people to make 2K extra a month. You only need one. But obviously, the more people that you reach out to, the more chance, the more likeliness that you have in signing them as a client. So day one, you are going to prospect. Now, day two, you're going to sell. So you're actually going to pitch and sell this service to them. So actually, we're going to do day one, day two, and this is going to be day three as well. So for the next 2 days, you're going to basically pitch and sell this service to these people. So you're just going to reach out to these people, and you can just start a conversation with them by saying, hey, I've got a question about the launch your own app webinar that you're running. Hey, Kimberly, came across your Facebook ads earlier today. I've got a quick question about the home buyers masterclass that you're running. Right? Just reach out to them and ask them a question. Just say you have a question about whatever webinar they're running. And if they're active on that social channel, they'll come back to you and be like, hey, what's your question? Right? Now, what you're going to do, and to be honest, you can start doing this on day one as well. You don't actually have to wait to day two to actually start DMing them. When you find them as a prospect, like I could just go and message that Kimberly and the other guy as well straight away. So you're going to find the prospects on day one, but you're going to start outreaching to them on day one as well. And basically, what you're going to do is when they respond to you and be like, hey, yes, what is your question? You're going to send them a Loom video, right? And you're going to basically pitch them your service, okay? So I don't have time to go into like the full script because that's a whole training in itself. But this is what you want to frame when you pitch them the service. You don't need to go into detail and be like, this is how I'm going to set it up. You basically just need to focus on the three main things, which is the money, the time, and basically the current activity. I've talked about this a lot, but basically when you're pitching a client for the first time, especially if you have like limited case studies, you want to say to them, hey, it's going to make you a load more money, it's going to cost you no time, and it's not going to affect anything that you're currently doing. Like it's not going to affect anything that's currently working. So basically all you're going to show them, and you can run them through a little scenario like I just showed you, where you're like, hey, you're missing out on all this money. Look at all these hundreds of people, thousands of people that, could potentially be a customer, but they're just not going to pay, the amount for your high ticket program. How about I set up this system that's going to make you more money? It's going to require no time investment from you because I'm going to do absolutely everything. So there's no time investment. And it's not going to affect like the current webinar, right? Because they're only going to see this downsell sequence after they have finished going through your regular sequence. So this isn't going to take away sales from this top offer because they're only seeing the downsell after they've been offered this. So everything is in like a perfect scenario here. And the other thing as well is that for the money, there's going to be no risk. So there's going to be no money risk. Why? Because you're only going to charge them a percentage of the revenue that your system creates. So they're going to pay you no money up front. It's going to require no time for them. It's not going to affect what's currently working in the business, but it's going to make them more money. Right? So it's a complete no-brainer. That's what you basically have to pitch them in the video when you send the Loom video. Now, in terms of percentage of revenue, it's going to be dependent on your sales skills, but like you could get anywhere between like 10 to 25% of the revenue. So you're going to pitch them that. Now, if you do that, if you follow this process and you, on day one, find all your prospects and you start DMing them, and then day 2 and day 3, you basically just do the Loom videos and you basically get them on a sales call and basically pitch them this, then you're going to eventually sign a client. And if you do it in high volume, you'll be able to sign a client within one call. Like, someone gets on the phone with you after you've sent them a Loom video saying like you can make them all this money, then unless you're like an idiot on the phone, which hopefully you're not going to be, they're going to close, because again, it's literally a complete no-brainer. There's no risk for them, but it's just complete upside. And you're doing all the work, and they only pay you if it makes money. So it's a complete no-brainer. So at this point, you'll probably have at least one client. Now, what you're going to do on day 4 is create the sales page. So this is pretty simple. This won't even take you a day, right? It could take you a morning. But you're going to create this here. So this sales page that we talked about, you're going to create this sales page. So you're going to write the copy and you're going to build the web page out. If you don't know how to build web pages, just practice in ClickFunnels and set them a sales page up on ClickFunnels. It's super easy. And you're going to write the copy, the text that goes on that sales page. Now, day 5, you're going to start writing the emails. So you're going to write this email sequence that we talked about earlier that sells the lower ticket course. And you're going to set it up in their system. So once you've written the emails, you're going to set it up so that every time someone receives these emails selling the 1 to 3K program, after these emails finish and they don't buy, they're going to get sent into this email sequence that downsells them the lower ticket product, right? And then day 6, you're just going to make money. And that's it. Like, it's that simple. I even saved you a day. You can do it in less than 7 days. Suppose you've got an extra day buffer for signing more clients. Because here's the thing, right? I know that's like seems overly simple, but it really is that friggin' simple. I've showed you how to find these people who need this service. I've showed you how to frame it and pitch it as a no-brainer. And let's just say, for example, we had 985 people who didn't buy the higher ticket offer. Like, you could easily convert, let's just see what it's going to be. So you could easily make these people, yeah, easy. So you could easily, if say for example, you're selling the lower ticket course for $197, you could easily get at least 50 people to buy that. Like, no, easily, completely easily. And if you do like 50 times by 197, let's do 50 times by 197. 50 times by 197 is just under 10K, right? We'll just round it up for maths purposes. So this is going to be 10K. So you've just made this client an extra 10K from one webinar. Or maybe, you know, they don't have this many registrants, but they do a webinar a week. So that's 4 webinars in a month. So maybe they only get, you know, 250 registrants per webinar. But whatever it is, right? You can easily make them anywhere between like 10 to 20K extra on the back end on top of the money that they've already made from the webinar by having this system set up. And like I said, you're charging them, say 25%, and that is the max. But let's just say they only make 10K and you charge them 25%, then you've just made 2.5K. Or maybe you only charge them 20%, right? So you've made 2K. Or let's just say you only charge them 10%, but they're a big client and your emails perform pretty well and they have lots of people who registered for the webinar. So you make them 20K in a month and you charge them 10%. So you still get 2K. You can see here that it's actually pretty easy to add this much money to your income by just following this service. And to be honest, like, you've only done like 7 days work and you've got one client. So you could just do that again and again and again. And before you know it, you could have a funnel and email agency that is making 10K plus per month working with like 5 to 6 clients. And it's just the same process. It's pretty easy for you to set up every single time. So I think a lot of people in the game, they overcomplicate what it actually takes to just sign your first client. Because you got to look at what I've done here with this offer. And it all comes back to how the offer is framed and like what you're offering. This works, and it works so well because of this. This is why it works. It's not like some magic hack about webinar downsells. It's the way I've framed the offer. There's no risk of them losing money because they only pay you after you make them money. It's going to require zero investment of the time. It's not going to affect anything that's currently making them money because it's kind of like an add-on to the business, but it's got high chance of making them a lot of money. Now, this is the way, even if you don't have like amazing case studies, a lot of credibility, or a lot of proof in your space, making sure that your offer fits these principles and pillars is what's going to allow you to start making money as like a marketing service provider. What you don't want to fucking do is start a fucking email e-commerce agency and you're pitching e-commerce businesses who already have all the email flows set up and they're already working with an agency, and you're going to try and pitch them to ditch their current agency and come and work with you, even though you've got no social proof or credibility. Or you're going to start a Facebook ads agency for online coaches, and you're going to tell them, hey, spend all this money on ads and I'm going to try and make you money back even though you don't have any social proof or credibility. Or ditch your current ad agency and come and work with me. All of those types of offers cost the client potentially money. It's going to take their time and it's going to affect their current activity of what they're currently doing in their business. You need to make it a complete no-brainer by removing all of the risk out of hiring you. And look, is this going to be the only offer that you ever sell? Probably not. This is getting your foot in the door. Because again, with this client here, if you got one of these people as a client and you did a good job and it made the money, then guess what? They'll be like, wow, your emails are pretty good. How about I pay you to rewrite these emails here? Because I'm sure these could be improved. Here's some more money. Oh, look, your sales page converted pretty well. I like what you did here. Could you help me rebuild my webinar funnel? Could you help me rebuild the sales page for my 1 to 3K offer? And what started with you just adding a little extra to their business, you've now become the basically full-time, well, not full-time, but the main marketing person that they use for their entire business. But you can't go in and pitch them that in the beginning. You can't go in and be like, hey, let me rewrite your webinar. Let me handle all of your marketing. Because you've got no trust. You don't got credibility. You don't have a relationship with them. So get your foot in the door by creating a bolt-on offer like this. And then you can start doing more for the client and start charging them more money and getting a bigger percentage. And you might not want to earn just 2K per month from each client because you might feel like that's small. That's fine. Get your foot in the door, show them that you're good at what you do, then you can start offering more services to them and you can start earning more money per client. But having a service like this and following these pillars is the easiest way to get clients and make money quickly. And you could literally sign a client on a deal like this within the next couple of days. And if they're running weekly webinars within the next 7 days or in the next week, you would have already earned your first, percentage of the commission. So hope this was helpful. If it was, let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one.